on Wednesdays, we'd have this priest come and he'd talk to us. And he would talk about how if you were bad, the devil would take over your body.
Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Bad Times, Good Stories podcast. My name is Joe Flanders. I am back in LA after visiting my family in Ohio and North Carolina, and I have overcome the flu. So I'm feeling much better. I hope you had a nice Memorial Day weekend. I flew back to LA yesterday, 6:45 in the morning. I'm a terrible flyer. I don't like turbulence. I don't like it. I don't like the lack of control. I always want a road trip across the country, which I've done numerous times because in my head I have the control. You know, like if something happens, I can swerve out of the way. I probably wouldn't. And I know it's far more dangerous to drive, but yeah, flying just fucks me up. So I'm back now. I'm glad. And I'm happy to share with you the episode for this week with Christina Calph. She is a very funny actress. She's been in all sorts of fun stuff. She's created her own content, Bad Girls Ball, which you can find on YouTube. And I've known her for a while. She was in an episode of Average Joe back in the day. I'll put a link into that video in the description. I hadn't seen her in a long time. It was great to catch up. And we are talking about how going to Catholic school fucked her up. Particularly in dealings with the devil. So I also went to Catholic school for high school, so we sort of talk about our different experiences. And if you are an incredibly religious person, specifically Catholic, we don't really have the nicest things to say about it. So be fair warned. But I think ultimately, I think that on the surface, religions can be very good, but the number of things done in the name of God or whatever the higher power is have done more harm than good. So we kind of just have an honest conversation about it. And I talk about what I did with the wafers that you get at Mass. So I hope you enjoy it. It's a good chat, and I had a lovely time talking with Christina. If you did enjoy it, give us that 5-star rating on iTunes. Penny, what's wrong? The dog is growling about something. Give us that 5-star rating on iTunes. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you to the several people who have done so. I don't know your names, but if you leave a review, I will know your name, and then I will definitely give you a shout out. As always, you can check out badtimesgoodstoriespod.com for past episodes, merch, and a link to that Patreon page to support me. And you can email me at badtimesgoodstoriespodcast@gmail.com. Let me know what you think of the episode, share a bad time you've been through, and maybe I'll read it on the air. So that's all I've got for now. So without further ado, here's my conversation with Christina Calph. So what's going on with you?
Nothing much, blah-de blah blah blue.
Ooh, fascinating.
Yeah, and then blah 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 and yada yada yada. That was it.
Ooh, and a follow-up question: yada yada huda wada buddha.
Yeah. Oh my God, I was gonna go. Just do the whole thing in gibberish. Oh my God. So what's up with me? I took my dog to Rosie's Dog Beach, and we just got kicked out of Target.
Really?
Yeah, so
what happened?
Because my dog is an asshole. But I actually was he's like, we both have yippy dog,
yes.
Dogs that just like to make their presence known with strangers.
Yes.
And I was actually really proud of him because he used to be scared. He was like always shaking.
Yeah.
But now he's like, he can stand there with me in a place,
The Bad Times Good Story light just turned on.
Have we started the show?
Oh, yes.
Are we now started?
Oh, yeah. We've been starting.
Okay,
but now
good.
It's official. The light's on.
Woo!
All right. So your dog got you kicked out of Target?
Bad Times Good Stories. That seems like a good show to be on.
Right? This is a good career move for you.
Yay!
Everything's going to start changing now.
Woohoo! You never know.
No, it's true.
Listen, you have brought good luck in my life before.
Yeah?
Yeah, we worked together.
We did on Average Joe.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll post a link to the episodes you were in. I was telling you when you first got here, I have fond memories of you vacuuming in my bathtub for one of the sketches. I won't give anybody any context.
No.
So you got kicked out of Target.
Yeah, we got kicked out of Target.
What happened? Was the dog yipping?
Because this woman, I think, is an opportunist. There's some people in this world who are looking to just get as much as they can out of this world.
Yes.
See,
by any means necessary.
We're not even getting to my story, and I'm already going to talk about what I think is like all the bad stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. People are going to watch this and think that I am a negative person.
No, not at all.
Maybe I am.
Well, who's to say?
Well, you know what though? I want to be like, I thought about like, you know, what we're going to talk about, but I didn't want to hold back.
Yeah.
I want to be fucking real about how, and if it is negative and it sounds bad, so what?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Some things are negative.
Yeah, some things are fucking negative and we have to deal with it. And sometimes it needs to be acknowledged instead of like, let's just like not talk about it or think about it from a positive perspective. No, it's not. This is what it is. A woman is a fucking opportunist. Are we allowed to curse?
Yes.
Okay. She's an opportunist who my dog, okay, I'm sitting there looking at stuff. She comes around the corner. My dog barks at her and goes like, kind of like comes at her to bark at her. Doesn't like attack her, doesn't anything.
A light lunge.
Yes.
Okay.
That. And I pull him back and I'm like, I'm sorry. And she hopped back and like looked at me, but like really didn't have any kind of reaction until I saw the click.
I could benefit from this.
Yes. And then there was like, oh, I'm like, I'm sorry. And then because it wasn't a big deal and she walked off. And this other woman screams, oh my God, what? Are you okay? And I'm like, oh my God. So, and I just ignored that woman. That woman comes walking with her child. And she's like, oh, is this your dog? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, oh, what kind of dog is he? And I'm like, he's little. He's very little. I'm like, he's a dachshund. She's like, oh. And like, look, if it was that much concern right then, she would have been freaked out or screaming at me, the other woman.
Not making small talk.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, he scared me the way he barked at that woman. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. You know, he's a rescue. I'm trying to desensitize him from, you know, from people. He's actually gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
And then that woman comes back up to me that he barked at and she goes, you know, I know it doesn't look like it, but I'm actually 50 years old. And that...
So she had to get a compliment for herself in.
Because I was like, and then of course, like me, I'm like, oh, really? Wow. Because she doesn't.
Yeah.
And so then she looks good. Okay, bitch. You want to sue me and you want me to give you compliments.
Oh, God, that's so funny. She had to work that in.
Yeah, bitch.
Okay, so she says what?
Yeah, so then she's like, but that when he like attacked me or when that happened, my knee started to hurt. And I was like,
what?
Yeah. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, I'm so sorry. And I just tried to say as little as possible because I was very afraid because I could sense this woman is conspiring to try to get money out of me.
Right.
Or like, I don't know. I just felt like it was to me. And I just said, I'm so sorry. And then I took my dog and walked away. 10 minutes later, this man comes up to me from Target. This woman says, your dog attacked her and she wants to sue Target. Like, you need to leave right now. And I'm still afraid because I don't know if that means like, what is my dog going to get like, will he get euthanized or they didn't take my information. So.
Well, that's good.
Do you think that my dog could your dog get euthanized from that?
I can't imagine. No. Because they would, I mean, if it got to that point, they would be looking for marks on her. Which there would be none.
No, and
I mean, no.
She even asked me after. She's like, "Oh, what kind of dog is he? You shouldn't bring your dog out." Oh, wait, is he a rescue? Well, he needs to be desensitized. Like she even said stuff like that.
What a weirdo! I really does that does the icing on the cake is truly the fact that really her top priority was pointing out that she does not look 50, however she is. To lead with that, like if you're really angry, can you imagine going in? I know it might not look like I've had my hair done, but I did. And then you list some complaint.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's insane. See, it's hard to be positive when shit like this is happening.
I know.
The gym yesterday, a person held the door for me.
That is nice.
That was pleasant. And I smiled. And then he smiled. And then we went about our days.
Yes, that is nice. That is very nice.
Yeah, that was like a little 30-second booster rocket, you know?
It is
was
true.
Just like, okay,
Yeah.
all right. They're not all animals.
No, that is true. That is really nice.
Yeah. But
nice.
from what you told me, we're going to talk about some not particularly pleasant or nice times from the childhood.
Yeah. Woohoo!
So let's dig in.
The damaging era.
Again, when we were just texting back and forth about it, it is a funny thing to ask people who sometimes I've never met. Sometimes
It's really weird, Joe. I got to tell you.
Yeah, it is.
When you first messaged me that, I was like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Why does he want me to be like upset? So the first time you asked me, I couldn't think of anything because I was just like, what the fuck is his angle?
What do you want?
Like, why do I want to go on a podcast and talk about everything that's bad in my life? Because then it just makes me feel like shit.
Right.
But then that was I don't know if you remember that. That was a while ago.
Yeah, that's right. We talked about probably like a year ago.
Yeah, and then time has passed and you must have forgotten. You asked me again.
Yeah.
But my life has been so shitty that like you get to the point where you're just like, I have zero fucks to give.
Yeah, exactly.
Zero fucks given. Like I just had that epiphany. Like I don't fucking care. And the way I read your email this time was totally different. That I think I perceived it different. Like, oh, I get him now, and I get this. This could be fun. This could be funny. It is funny to think about the bad.
Yes.
You know,
and that's the goal. Is just to talk about things that we can laugh about now, but weren't funny necessarily in the moment. And then just talk about how you kind of overcame them and the things you've learned.
Well, I also think too, like, the things that you've overcame, I think a lot of people have not overcame that part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think they still like a lot of these things are still people are dealing with, and then they might say they've overcome or whatever hardships, but they really didn't.
Sure.
Don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's definitely things that either you never really, you kind of come to terms with them or you know how to deal with them or don't.
Yeah.
It really just depends on the circumstances, I guess, and what happened, and
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because you have I've seen some of your different episodes, and some of the things are kind of just situational.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas opposed like to Catholicism, fucking devil shit, like, whoo.
Yeah.
I ain't seeing no devil work. You're like the movie you did.
Right.
I'm gonna watch it, but I might not sleep for a week. I'm serious because of that.
Yeah. Okay.
But I will watch it because I want to support you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
27 Club. Did they know about it?
Oh, they know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they know about it. Check it out.
iTunes, Amazon.
Yeah, all on-demand platforms. Voodoo, I think that's one.
Oh, cool.
I don't know what that's called. I don't know.
No, I've heard it. The VUDU. Yeah, it's
Yes.
big. That's huge.
It's on there. If you voodoo, then you do the voodoo. Okay.
The 27 Club. If you voodoo, then you do the 27 Club.
There it is. There it is. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So you grew up going to Catholic school?
Okay, so I'm from a small I don't know how you want to start this.
Yeah.
But I'm from a small town outside of Buffalo called Dunkirk, New York. And at that time, my family, I'm from a very big Italian family, Italian Catholic family.
Okay.
And my mom had 5 siblings. They all went to Catholic school, went to Catholic high school. Mm-hmm. So when I first moved there, my dad was like this hick from Arizona.
Okay.
So I don't, for whatever reason, they did not put, I think I went to like a Catholic preschool. Then I switched out to like a public. I don't know if it was because of financial reasons. I should ask them that. I'm really curious because I went to like 6 different schools. It took me, and all in the same area. Mm-hmm. Like I went to like a public kindergarten, and then I went to a Central Christian Academy, which is like, were they just trying to rebel? I don't know, because then I went to a Christian school as a Catholic, and then I was kind of ostracized doing that. Like I don't understand. You had to pay for that, so I don't know why they chose to do that.
Yeah,
and then finally went to the Catholic school that fucked me up for good. I was like, I lost my voice.
Yeah.
That's a sign. If you intuitive people watching.
That's the devil saying, don't you tell the story.
Yeah, this is an emotional story.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, so that's where I finally went to that school.
And you were there for how many?
2nd to 6th until like I had to Oh my God, I don't think I've gotten over this. I feel like I'm getting emotional. You guys, I'm going to be honest. I don't think I'm over this. So sixth grade, after sixth grade, I begged to get out because I was like really fucked up from what happened.
Yeah.
So then should tell what happened.
Yeah.
So basically, well, my Catholic experience in a whole, my family was looked down upon. For my immediate family. I come from a big Italian family who was kind of like accepted in the town, but because of that, we weren't really looked on as well as everyone else. So going to a Catholic school, you have to pay, you have a tuition.
Right.
It's expensive to go.
Yeah,
and we lived in a really small house, like right next to the railroad track, super hick. And like I shared a room with my brother till I was like 12. So and I was very embarrassed and mortified by that. I didn't want anyone to know, that like I did that and that like my situation at home was not very good. But of course, fucking human beings are fucking awful. And like, they'll make you feel even worse, when like you have terrible things happening to you. They don't fucking care. You're fucking, you're going through that. Well, you're bad.
Right.
It's like, you gotta, like, people are fucking ignorant.
And at that age too, I feel like so much of it is just like, well, if we're talking about you, then no one's going to be talking about me. And so it's just like, let's get
maybe, yeah.
and I'm not defending it, but
no,
it's
but
just
yeah, maybe.
It's just such this like weird survival of the
maybe
fittest
yes, maybe
thing
it is that. It's hard because to me, my perception of them is just people who had money,
right,
or who came from money, and like married people with good jobs, and these families these kids that I was in school with had a little bit more money. There's only a couple that were like really awful. They, look down upon people that don't, and it's just like, that's one thing like I think is just wrong with our society. Like I wasn't allowed to go to Courtney's birthday party.
Yeah, status defines you.
Like this one girl came up to me and she goes, "My parents don't like you." I'm like,
and you were how old? Like 11.
So I must have been in fourth grade.
Ugh,
like, okay. My parents don't like you.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. They just don't like you. Like, cool.
Just as the Bible says.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Treat people like shit.
Yes, exactly. Like, okay, cool. Oh my God. You guys, I'm so sorry for these negative vibes that I'm releasing out into the universe. This is terrible. But like, there was a lot of that for a lot of years. And I never felt like I was good enough. I was very weird because I was into like acting and comedy and music and wanting to like do that stuff. And I was kind of weird. So like I was very extroverted. So I would get the leads and everything in my stupid ass town. And so that made people ostracize me even more.
Right. Because you were different. You had goals and aspirations and like didn't want to stay in the town. And, and people view that stuff as, what makes her, why does she think she's so special?
Yeah.
And a lot of it, I think, comes from their own insecurities. Because they're just like, well, she seems to feel good about herself, and I don't, so I'm going to make her feel like shit.
Yeah, maybe they secretly wanted to be doing the musicals and stuff, and they were just too afraid.
I'm sure some of them.
Maybe some of them, because I remember one time I had to do something in front of all the kids in the school, and there was some looks that was in the 5th grade. I'll never forget it, and I remember some of the looks that people were looking at me, and I cannot forget that. It's like emblazoned, like just like. In my mind, emblazoned, right? Embedded. That's the word. Embedded in my mind. Just that look of like, fuck you,
Yeah.
But like, even though I was like pretty abused as a kid, like I still was very extroverted.
Yeah, which is great because they didn't totally kill your spirit.
No. And like my parents were very encouraging of that too. Like, although there was a lot of negativity and scarring, there was a lot of positivity as well. There was a lot of like encouragement and wanting me to do better.
Yeah.
So that I think affected me a lot too.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you have all this stuff, just the natural people, bullies and all that kind of stuff, making your life hell. Did the Catholicism part of going to Catholic school, did that like have an effect on you?
Yeah. So a lot, but I think what benefited me a little bit was that I kind of like, I was really good at memorizing stuff at school, but I really didn't like soak anything in. Thank God. I kind of wish I did as an adult now to look back at the shit that I was learning.
Sure.
You know, because I'm sure it was like something wacky. But that I would not agree with now.
Sure.
But like, yeah, we'd have to go sit in church. I never really followed anything. I liked singing, but I like wasn't really paying attention. But where I did, I was in the 6th grade, and what they would do every Wednesday is they'd have a priest come. I also think subconsciously, like this is, and I'm sorry if you're Catholic, you might believe in it and you might like it. I apologize if I'm offending, but this is just my experience and how it affected me. I think all religions are cults, so you are not the only one that I hate.
No, I agree. Yeah, and I went to Catholic high school, just so you so the context of it. But yeah, I'm sure a lot of the things that I was learning in Sunday school were similar to the things that you were learning, you know, in class. So anyway, I can identify.
Stop! Oh my God, you have to tell me if it is anything similar.
Sure.
But so basically, there's a lot of control, a lot of like pushing down. In Catholicism. And then on Wednesdays, we'd have this priest come and he'd talk to us. And he would talk about how if you were bad, the devil would take over your body. Yes. And like, it's real. It's a real thing that happens to people. And you need to get an exorcism. And then he would go into detail about how like, there was this, he knows it's real because this one time at his car, he had like the devil approach him. Oh my God. I don't need to laugh.
I mean, it's kind of funny, you know, because it's fucking ridiculous.
I just like, I had this image of the priest like having like probably like a prostitute or something, or maybe like a little boy or something coming up, you know, who knows what his demons are, like for real.
Right, just walking out of AutoZone and then
yeah. Oh God. And so then, I was very, very sensitive. So when he said this shit, I was like, where's the devil? Where's the devil? It sparked some kind of like fucking panic mode in my head. They also told us the right hand is good and the left hand is bad. So guess what? Christina was only touching shit with her right hand and right foot.
Wait, like, what is that? What does that mean? The left hand is bad?
I don't fucking know.
Do you remember the explanation of that?
Something like the right hand means good and the left hand means bad. I don't know.
What the hell did left-handed people say they're in this
I
mass?
wanna look
Like,
this
well,
up.
I guess I'm...
Should I look it up on
I
my
guess
phone
the devil
really
has
quick?
possessed me to use my left hand.
Well, so I think it has to do with the cross, but I perceived it maybe because I didn't really pay attention.
Sure.
But like they did, I remember that distinct line, the right hand is good, the left hand is bad. Maybe they meant from the cross. Maybe this is like the Antichrist
Yeah.
doing it with left.
Either way, it's bonkers.
Yeah. Why do we use our right hand instead of, that's probably what he meant, but like, I don't remember like him talking about with the cross.
Sure. Well, it doesn't matter. So that's what he said.
Okay, right hand probably in part due to the fact that most people are right-handed is traditionally the hand of blessing. So this is the hand of blessing. By contrast, the left has in many cultures a very different set of traditional associations. It is often designated for personal hygiene. The word sinister is derived from left-handed for all the reasons. Oh.
Go on. Is that the hand we're getting ourselves off with?
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. I guess that's what that means.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm more of a switch hitter.
I know.
Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm left. I don't know. But if it was pure left, then the devil would be involved in that.
Yeah.
It's practice.
I usually only use my left if I'm tired of my right. So, I don't know.
Okay.
Anyways.
All right. So you were terrified to use your left hand for anything?
And all the other, and like I was really fucked up. Like I just started to like, I don't know. I remember going to the next class and then thinking I was singing things. Like I just was way too sensitive.
Like devils and stuff?
Like angels and like they're protecting me because like I was just so afraid that at any moment the devil would come and take over my body.
Yeah.
Like, and that I would attract it. I'm thinking about it. So it's going to like come. And then like, I was like crazy, Joe. Like I couldn't like, and like now even still I catch myself doing with the like right foot, like only touching things with like, oh, I can't step on a crack, like super superstitious. I think that Catholicism made me very superstitious. So like only like walking over like cracks and stuff. Like, do not touch a crack. If I touch a crack, I had to do something like a little OCD-ish.
Yeah.
And so, but everyone else in the class was laughing. And I still can't understand it. To this day, I can't understand how everybody was laughing and not, like, this is a grown-ass fucking man.
Right.
In there.
Yes.
An authority figure telling us the devil will take over our body if we're bad. And how are you motherfuckers laughing?
Right. Yeah.
I don't get it.
That probably made you feel even more crazy. You're like, am I the only one who's getting this?
Yeah, that's how I felt. I felt like I was a crazy person.
Yeah, if I accidentally take somebody's pencil, the devil's going to take over me.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and if you actually are listening to that, I can see where, as a small child, that could fuck you up.
Yeah, bad.
Yeah. So how did that manifest itself?
Like, what do you mean?
Like, how did that, like, on a day-to-day basis?
Well, that OCD.
Is that what yeah.
Oh, for years. Like,
Yeah.
even still, like, there was a documentary that came out called The Vatican. If you're Catholic, you should just watch it. Like, just be open-minded and watch it. Because, boy, when I saw that shit, like, were my eyes open.
Yeah.
Like, seeing, I don't know, just seeing, like, just like a lot of answers were revealed in that documentary, like, about, like, the motives behind the Catholic religion and what it masks.
Right.
Like, really was just, like, a lot of it has to do with masking pedophilia.
Right.
And money. Like, it's a money maker.
Oh, absolutely.
You know? And,
Yeah.
like, here I was thinking that all these things were real and, like, pushing myself aside because I'm, like, one of the little worker bees, you know?
Right.
Like, oh, my God, I've been, like, it was just, like, just something just, like I had been released seeing that. Oh, my God, it was one of the best things I've ever seen.
That's great.
Yeah, but still, like, I watched this, like, girl invited me to go see when I had to be in my early 20s when she was like, oh, come see this movie at MTV with me. And this is in New York City. And I was like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, what is it? And she goes, oh, I get there. And she's like, oh, The Devil Within. And I was like, oh, cool. Whatever, you know?
Yeah.
I lived alone in Queens. I did not sleep for a month. Like,
Really?
It was bad. It was bad. Like, I couldn't, like, seeing the image. I think it's called, you ever hear of The Devil Within?
I think I've heard that.
Where, like, the girl was, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but the girl was possessed. They went to, like, Italy, and she was, like, up on the walls and, like, crawling on the walls, and, like, oh my God, they really hit it home there.
Yeah,
those were some, like, jaded Catholics that made that film. You know, they that's how they know how to get you.
Yeah,
because, like, and like there'd be times where I'm like, where you just have these flashes of, like, oh my God, like, what if the devil takes over? It's like your mind goes there. Like, you're not, like, thinking, you're fine. Then all of a sudden, boom, like, oh my God, the devil could take over my body. And then how am I going to function? Like, just weird psychoses, like, just a weird.
And was that what was filling your head when you didn't sleep for a month?
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
And so that's, like, how many years later you're an adult and it's still,
living
and I'm
by
not
myself
belittling
in
it.
New York City.
Yeah, but it's stuck with
up.
you. Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. And then I don't know what happened. I think, like, that mixed with, you know, the fact that like I wasn't, like, good enough, you know, ever, like, really just, like, fucked me good. I think, like, being in Catholic school with people that had more money and, like, I don't know, it just really, I think it's, like, it's something that just, like, sits in you. It probably is still there that I'm trying to, like, work on through, like, meditation, that I am good enough. Like, sometimes now do you meditate?
No.
Oh my gosh. I think you should, but
yeah, I've tried, you know.
It's not for everybody.
No, I just sit there and I'm just thinking of, I've never gotten to that magical place within my head, you know, where I've thinking of nothing or free. I'm just thinking about what I'm doing, and it's honestly led me to more panic than anything else.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
You know, it hasn't worked too well for me.
Yeah.
But it's working for you?
Well, because what I started to do was I kind of started to pick videos on YouTube that were like I do manifestation meditation, and my goal would be just to focus on what the person is saying. So like really just to work on my focus.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I made the objective, as opposed to that, because I have the same thing happen. But now, like when I'm laying down, I can hear sometimes, like I'm kind of getting to where I can like be aware of my unconscious thoughts a little bit. Like I guess they're kind of conscious, like I catch them, where I'm like really, even still, like kind of like talk down to myself. Like I don't believe in myself. Like it's like I squash myself, you know, like those negative like beliefs like are there. They, even though like you try and you're like, you face the world and you're like, I can do it today. I am beautiful. I am great. I have money. I have this. I am abundant. And then you like lay down and you're like, fuck you.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. You're fooling yourself.
Yeah. But wait, so does any of this sound familiar to you as far as Catholicism? I'm just curious.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think it honestly, like I didn't really retain anything from Sunday school. Honestly,
why?
I think I was one of the. I don't know how I wasn't too. Because you're right. I mean, I'm sure I was being told similar things. Now, I went to a fairly progressive Catholic church, but it's still a Catholic church, and they're teaching you good and evil and why you should be a good person, which inherently I think is a good thing. But they need to figure out. I think we should be like teaching kids to be good people, but let's not do it through fear.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's the problem, is that it's all based in fear. It's like, well, if you do something bad, then something terrible is going to happen.
Go to hell.
You know, and then I think the problem is that then at a certain point you realize, like, you know, like when you first discover you could lie and nothing bad happens,
right?
You know, then it's just like, well, what the fuck are they talking about? There's no demons here, you know? So then it's like, it breaks it. Whereas if you're just like, you should be nice to people and not be an asshole, because then you'll just feel better about yourself.
Yeah.
You know? Or I don't know what it is. But the problem is
But what about hell? Didn't you fear hell?
I think I did. Honestly, I just like hung out with my friend, like in grade school or in Sunday school. Like we would I just remember kind of dicking around, even at like 6 years old. But the hell stuff definitely got to me.
No, but
yeah.
I had the similar thing where you're not really, because we weren't really present,
right?
Maybe because it was boring to us.
Yes, yeah. Well, and it was just like, you know, coloring, and so like this was not. I didn't get the like hell and brimstone thing, I don't think, in my upbringing. And then once I was in, I did public school through
not
K
the devil stuff or anything like that.
I mean, I knew that I was just like, well, I'm not an asshole, so I should be fine.
Okay.
I think that's how which is anticlimactic for the sake of this conversation, I realize.
No, it's good to know, because, and probably good for them to know, because it's not all the same.
Right.
Not everybody, you know, it's not like I was hit by the nuns like some people before us,
exactly.
You know, or even still maybe.
And then when I got to high school, like, you know, we took theology and all that stuff, but I just I think that's when I started questioning, like, does this all add up really? Just religion in general? So I just treated theology more like a fictional history class, where I just had to learn about what Job did or what this or that or any of the. I don't retain any of it.
Wow, that's pretty intense. That's pretty. That's what am I trying to say? That's pretty profound of you to label it that, because you're probably fucking right.
Yeah, I was just, you know...
Fictional history class, which is what it is.
Yeah, and I was good at memorizing stuff, and I liked history, so I was just like, sure. But I remember learning, like, and I couldn't even amoral, immoral, like the difference between those two things, and I don't even know. I don't remember what they are now. But, yeah, I was lucky to have fairly progressive theology teachers who, like, by senior year in particular, like, I was comfortable just asking that stuff. Like, yeah, it doesn't really add up to me.
Yeah.
And then we'd like talk about it. And, you know, there'd be like some hardcore students who would be like, why are you questioning the word of God? I was like, well, it just doesn't add up.
Wow.
And then, you know, that's where I got to, because I would go to church every Sunday with my parents. And I always envied the priest because he got to perform. You know, and like there was a stage, and I was just like,
got good benefits.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's a nice house.
Oh
like,
yeah. He had a tanning
great
bed.
acting gig.
He what? Bed. Yeah, he was a cool guy. Father Rod, rest in peace. So I just kind of, I just took it. I never really processed what was being said. But I learned I memorized, and that's still like I went to mass for the first time. There's a church down the street, like probably 7 months ago. I just decided to go, and I went for like 3 weeks in a row. Then I was like, okay, I got it, because I just associated it more with like family and the traditions, not so much like the teachings of the Bible.
We probably paid attention now.
Yeah, now it's
Do you like what they say?
Like the homilies and stuff. That's how I still think about it from like a performing aspect. Where it's like, I wonder if he when did she write this? It was a female priest at the church I went to, but
female priest. That's not Catholic.
Here. No, it wasn't Catholic. No, it was out here. It was like all these Christian masses are so similar. It's still basically the same script.
Yeah.
3 songs and then this and then that and then there's the communion and then I think what made it silly to me was because my church, when we would do the Eucharist, the bread of God, it was actually homemade bread. It wasn't the wafers.
Oh, really?
So that's what I grew up with.
Yeah.
And so it was. We're actors. Like, that's a more playful prop. I'm just I've never had this bread anywhere else. This could be the bread of God. Sure. And then I went to mass at my grandmother's in Cincinnati, and it was the wafer. I'm like, what the hell is this? This was made in some factory. And then I remember in high school, there was like a Christian store that you could buy the wafers at. And I actually bought them.
Oh my God.
And then got like a thing of Cheese Whiz and would just make myself crackers for lunch. Like
Joe, that is hilarious.
And it did not go over well with some of my peers because they're like, "Where did you get those?" I was like, "Yeah."
Wait a second. You would get the wafers,
yes,
to eat as a snack.
Yeah, that would be my lunch. I'd make cheese sandwiches with Cheese Whiz, cheese crackers.
Oh my God. Some people would think that was like so awful.
Yeah, blasphemous. But I was just like, how is this blasphemous? I paid for it at the store with this wasn't like, this was just, I think they were made in Indiana or something. Like I remember looking at the box. It was
You're
just like,
humanizing something. This is great. Like like that would be like the button to like my story if I had the strength to go and do something like this. You know what I mean? Like that's like showing that you really kind of like put Catholicism in its place for you, where like it might still work in some regard, but
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, like when it was, we had to wear uniforms, so you had to wear a tie, and that was one of the few things that you could, wear whatever tie you wanted to.
Yeah, sorry, I can't get over it.
Yeah, Cheese Whiz Eucharist crackers.
You don't go to Ralph's. No. You don't go to Trader Joe's and get normal crackers. Because you like the taste of the wafer.
I think it was more of just a fuck you, too, if I'm being honest.
See, I love that.
Yeah, there was just, it was just like, I was questioning everything. I thought it was perfectly ridiculous that how are these holy things? They're just tasteless crackers that I'm buying at the store.
Oh my God. I think we just came up with a series idea.
Yeah.
What about a person who's trying to be an actor who is failing, and they're struggling, they can't make the rent, and then their like friend or whatever drags them to this church to get them inspired, and they see the priest, and then the priest is friends with the friend, so they take the two of them to their to the priest's house, and he's got this party with all these bitches, and then like all the pool or whatever, and it's like,
and then the actor's like, I should be a priest.
I'm gonna be a priest.
Yeah, look, I perform every Sunday.
Yes, you perform every Sunday. Like he's like asking the priest, like, so you have a perforance every whatever, and
you write and direct and star in this every
Sunday. Listen, oh my gosh, and then he gets then you can have the scene with the wafers, and he's eating the Cheese Whiz wafer crackers.
Right. Yeah.
Like the friend comes in and is like, what are you doing? Oh, nothing.
Oh, yeah, there's like no carbs in these. This is great.
You can't do that. Oh man, come on. We just made a hit.
Yeah, I think we did. I think so. It'll spark a conversation. That's for sure.
I think that's a great.
But then, like I was saying about these ties, I'd wear a tie every day to school. And so I found on eBay, a Last Supper tie. And so I would like wear that around. And I remember like
such an asshole.
Yeah. Because again, I was just like, how much merchandising is God bringing in?
Oh my God. What do people say to you when you wear that?
Oh, Flanders.
Oh my God.
Generally,
Flanders.
Yeah,
Oh my
that was. I didn't
goodness.
have a first name in high school. I was just Flanders, from
Oh my
like
God.
students to faculty to everybody. But I remember like I was on student council. I was the president junior year because I made the funniest video. That was really it. I think I promised Hawaiian Punch in the water fountains. Didn't get that goal. But we like the bishop came to our school, and I wore that tie, and I think I even said like, yeah, I was feeling religious today. I put on my first supper tie, and I forgot it was the Last Supper, and then
Oh my
I was scolded,
God.
and that wasn't a purposeful fuck you. I just said the wrong thing. But then, yeah, I like got sent to the principal's office. They're like, you're embarrassing us with the guy here. I'm like, it's fine. Yeah, first supper. Impressive, huh?
What did he do? What was his reaction?
I think he just like nodded and walked away.
Oh my
I was
God.
like, well.
He probably thought, oh my God, our future is fucked.
Yes, this student represents the junior
It's
class.
true, and he's kind of right. The
Oh, yeah,
future
it's
is
fair.
fucked for Catholicism. Our generation, I mean, I don't know about everybody, but like for the most part, I think people are dismissing it more and more. At least,
now,
kind of stuff.
no, I agree. So did you go to mass and stuff? Was like church part of your life?
like we did go on Sundays, but more with like my grandmother and my mom. So we would. I like the singing parts. I like just sing, you know.
Sure.
But it's like so funny. I never thought of the priest as because he was so boring what he was saying that I was
Yeah.
like. But it is like a performance.
Yeah.
It really
Right,
is.
the
I was
homilies.
more into the singing. Like that seemed at least a little bit less boring.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we would. I don't know. I think maybe I was blocking out. Maybe our brains like block out traumatic things.
Yeah.
You know, like
Right.
whereas like I just felt so bad that like I don't know. I think at points in my life too, I knew I was in hell. Like, but I really wasn't though. Like, if we want to like talk about hell, like some people have some horrible, like they're born into these like lives that are just awful and they've got no help.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I was just, side note, but I was just bartending Coachella.
Oh God.
Yes.
That had to be hell.
Oh my God. It was so eye-opening though, because like, look, I made $4,000 in 6 days. So that part I really liked.
Yeah.
But there's such a class difference in our world that is so fucked up. Like, oh God, I had like a few celebrities like I waited on that were not very nice and like did not tip or they were rude about it.
Yeah.
And like that like it's like you should be so grateful for where you are.
Right.
You know, and like here I am, like I get 1.5 hour break all day long, like but like there's the people, but because I was treated so poorly by these people of status, I was working in VIP. I started to look, even myself, like go talk to the woman who's fucking cleaning the outhouses at this
Right.
fucking disgusting festival. Like I had to take oh my God. I had to take a shower with like disgusting things at my feet because like I had to sleep in the staff camp.
Are we talking about poop?
No, something grosser. That comes from girls.
Oh.
Don't even want to give people this visual. I don't want to tell you with this visual because it's so gross and scarring.
Okay.
And like, who the fuck? But there was a bag of poop that my other girlfriend found that she had to take a shower by a bag. Who takes a poop in a bag and wraps it up and just like, okay, there you go. Everybody could take showers next to my feces. You're
Well,
fucking
what's
gross.
funny is that they probably thought they were doing everybody a favor by putting it in a bag, not just doing it right there on the ground.
I guess that is true. That is true.
Based on the lowest of expectations, they excel. The lowest of low expectations.
Fair. But then what I had at mine was fucking gross. Anyways, so then I was like, the people that like are at the side of the street and like are picking up trash, like, or the people in full on uniforms that have to stand in the desert sun all day long.
Policing assholes.
Yeah, and they like you don't look at these people twice.
Right.
You don't think that they have feelings,
Right.
that they have families. There's reasons why they're they're fixing the toilets at fucking Coachella. There's reasons why. And like we almost dehumanize other people, even myself.
Yeah.
And that like because I was being dehumanized, I went and like struck up a conversation with the guys that were picking up garbage. Like, how are you guys doing? Are you okay?
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, you know, it's all right. You know, like, just like treating like, how are you? Like, what's going on? How is things? How do you do this job? I really wanted to know more than anybody, more than any celebrity. I wanted to meet the fucking person who was cleaning up the toilets.
Yeah.
Like, I got to sit in the bus next to a guy who, like, he's like, yeah, I clean up the bathrooms. And I turned to him, I'm like, I've been dying to meet you. And I was like, how do you do this shit? Like, how? Like, how do you do it? He's like, it's not that bad. He didn't have to, like, do the poop. He just had to, like, change the water. He's like, it's really, you know, it's awful. Like, you know, like, people are very entitled.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus, it's just so, oh my God. There's people that I had to wait on that I was just like, you're a fucking asshole. One guy was from, he was in a group. He was a character on Gossip Girl.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm rambling.
No.
But they didn't even tip me. They had me running around like I had like no head.
And I'm sure the prices are pretty expensive.
It was like $300. They had me like
Yeah.
running around like crazy, and they tipped me like $5.
And that's something I always have to be conscious of, because when I know I'm being hoodwinked for things, like if I'm at an event like that and or a baseball game or something like that, you just know you're getting ripped off.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't take that out on the person that's serving you, because they're
Right.
still making whatever they are.
Well, you're
like,
also
you got a tip.
Yeah,
Like,
well, you're also of a certain, like, you understand that, but you're not at that status where
No.
you fucking have money.
Oh yeah, exactly.
You
exactly.
ask, you fucking arrogant pieces of shit.
Yeah, people they lose their perspective.
I made a list of all the people that didn't tip me, and I will one day, when I have enough, I will fucking out them. I have no shame.
So when did you stop going to church or anything like that?
I refused to get confirmed.
You refused?
So
Okay.
I was a senior in high school. I did not go to, I got out of Catholic school. I went to a public middle school, and then I went to a public high school, and everybody's getting confirmed. And I told my mom that I refused to get confirmed. Mm-hmm. I refused. To think just me as a human being. I wasn't very educated. I tried to be smart, tried to take the AP classes, but
Yeah.
I don't think our education was that good where I'm from,
Yeah.
to be quite honest. But like some people were pretty sharp, and even still, really impressed with this one chick who's my friend, who like lived in a trailer park, but now she like works at Google and like fucking,
wow.
yeah. Like,
That's great.
She's like stuff like that I love about my town.
Yeah.
But like a lot of it's not like that.
Sure.
Yeah. So I think that like somewhere inside, I knew things were wrong. Like with my family, I knew things were wrong. I couldn't really articulate it. I couldn't really understand. I didn't have a full understanding, but I knew something was phony, something was off, something was wrong, you know, and that I didn't want to be a part of it, you know? So that, I think, especially with the fuck that Catholicism, I was like, nope. And luckily, I'm very lucky with my parents too, is they're very supportive. Like they were like, okay. Like they didn't say, no, you're getting confirmed.
Yeah.
No, my parents are not like that. They're just a little like, I love my parents, you know, there's like, everyone has their faults, but they also are open-minded, which like, that's the best gift that I could have had from them.
Well, and not to generalize, but I think being open-minded in a small town isn't always.
No.
That can be a rarity.
Oh yeah, totally. Because like, especially my mother wasn't treated like that. My mother had to like she wasn't like allowed to go. She like tried to move across the country, and her parents flew out there, would not leave until that she would come back.
Really?
Very controlling. It's that
Wow.
Italian Catholic control.
Right.
So my mother was like, I don't want that for my kids. And so she allowed me, like I said, Mom, I want to go to New York City when I'm 18. I want to live in New York. And like, she's like, okay, like,
Yeah.
like go ahead, you know,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to do it yourself, but go ahead. Like I'm allowing you in a supportive and emotional way. That's like helpful, you know? So, so I did not get confirmed. And then a lot of that, you know, was still in you.
Right.
You know, like I said, like as I was getting as an adult, like still touching things with my right hand, still having to put booby traps all throughout my apartment.
Please elaborate.
Like I'd have to put like, I had like an umbrella, like little vase where you put your umbrella in. Like I'd have to put that in front of my door every night. I'd have to like meticulously look out the door. I have to look under the thing. I have to say a certain thing. I still have to say a certain thing at night. Like I say, what do I say? What do I say every night? Now I can't freaking remember. Every night of my life, I fucking say this, and then I can't remember it. Thank you so much. If I feel like the devil's going to, I do still kind of feel like that. Like demons or bad spirits. I do kind of still feel like that. Like, thank you so much for protecting us last night. Thank you so much for protecting us tonight. Please, God, protect us tonight. And please, God, don't let any funny business go on.
And funny business for you would be demons coming for you. Yeah. So it's still there.
Yeah, I guess I do. Yeah. Damn, I thought I was over it. No, it still is there. Yeah, it still is there a little bit.
So, I mean, and that's not shocking because, so basically you're saying after you left school in what, 7th grade, 6th grade, from that point on, you really didn't have a relationship with the church, but it had already done the damage.
Really.
It had already...
Yeah, I still did the Sunday school.
Okay.
I did that a little bit while I was in high school before. I think a little bit in high school. And then I kind of stopped.
Yeah.
It kind of like fizzled, you know?
Yeah, that was, I mean, for me, again, it was high school when I got my license, my parents, because we started going to a different church, but I was like, oh, I still want to go to the old one that we went to. So I would drive to Mass, pick up a bulletin, and then go to Waffle House. I wouldn't actually stay for the Mass. I would just get the bulletins, so then I could bring it home and be like, see, I went to church.
Oh, my God.
And I would just like sit at a Waffle House for an hour and a half and then just drive home.
Oh, my God. That's really good. You're such a shit.
Yeah.
You're such a shit.
Yep.
See, guys I know someone else that does shit like that, and like I would have felt too guilty. Mm-hmm. Like the guilt. That's another thing with Catholic religion. Like the guilt that you feel forever about everything. I would have felt so guilty that I lied, so that I couldn't like hold that, like I couldn't. Now I probably could. Now I could. It's taken, because I lived there till I was 18, and now it's been 13 years I've been out of the house. So it's like I've almost been away as much as I was there. So
I'm not just at peace with everything. I think that's the thing when you maybe stumble across, from my perspective, that I think a lot of religion is bullshit.
The crackers.
Yeah, the crack, just the absurdity of it all. And like, and I'm not desecrating any religion, but for me, I was just like, this is all bullshit. This is all just silliness.
Yeah.
Let's just focus on being a good person. That's my religion.
Right.
Or trying to be. Where was I going with this? But there's the release of that isn't like, oh, thank God, it's all meaningless. It's, oh my God, it's all meaningless. Right. There's going to be a damn out here that the things,
But we don't know if it's meaningless.
That's true.
See, because like, I think, this is my theory.
Yes.
I think we're already dead.
Oh.
I don't think time is linear.
Ah.
I don't think time is linear.
Yeah.
Because like, when you like meet certain people, sorry, I thought your dog was puking or something.
Oh, she's just frolicking about on the carpet.
Is she okay?
Oh yeah, she's
she's like,
she knows we're talking about her.
Uh-oh, hi, Penny. She's like, fuck you, bitch. But I don't think time is linear, but I think we experience time linear, because I'll have psychic dreams, like things that will, like a lot, and like things end up happening, or like something, like I heard a sound, right? And then I woke up, I got scared, and then I turned my light on and I knocked my water over, which made that sound. So it's the sound that provoked the sound, which that tripped me up. That I had a hard time sleeping after that. But I think that, like, I don't know.
Sure, that's as plausible as anything else.
I think our brain all of our brains are able to perceive future stuff. But also, I think, like, we have more capability of our brains, which means, like, I don't know. And it was also, like, trying to think of it in the shower practically, life, right? Like,
it's pretty good for shower thinking.
Yeah,
I just think about bullshit.
I know. Well, no, like, that, like, okay, if we think about our bodies logically, our brains and bodies, this is the way we function. Then if we die, then we become a part of the earth, and then we become a different, we fuel the earth, which then regenerates into something else. You know what I mean? So like, maybe we don't die, we just turn into something else in this world.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, neither do I. So I prefer to just like shut it down.
No, it's true. It does. And it gives me massive anxiety at times.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
It is. Yeah. Oh, death.
But like, I just had this idea once, like, what if we're already dead?
Yeah.
I'm already dead. Like, I'm already dead. Like, it's already here. It's already done.
Well, for a dead person, you're looking pretty good.
Thank you.
How's that for a compliment?
Thank you.
For a dead person, you look pretty good.
Yes. I don't know.
No, sure. I mean, that makes as much sense as anything.
Aw.
Was there any positives that came from your Catholic upbringing?
Yeah. This right here.
Being able to talk about it?
Getting like awareness and coming, like, although, like, don't get me wrong, like, I do still have weird things sometimes, but for the most part, I don't fear the devil anymore. If anything, one time I said something so crazy to my mom. I said, Mom, we are the devil. The devil's already inside us. Like, we already have the devil inside us. And she's like, what? Like, she got really freaked out. I'm like, but think about it. This is hell. Earth is hell. This is hell. Like, we are living in hell already. We just have to make the best of hell. Like, this is hell. There's nothing worse. Like, the way that we have things set up sucks.
Yeah.
Like, some people, like, we're so fucking selfish that we have some people, like, starving on the street where some people have massive amounts of wealth. This is fucking hell.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It just kind of hit me. Like, I already have the devil. I like the devil. You know what? I'm going to embrace this.
Yeah.
I'm the fucking devil.
Right.
You know, I don't know. I have moments of strength. And as I age, the more that strength comes and the more I'm like, I try to make myself not say that stuff at night. Like, even though, and I don't always, but like, I try to like, and like, because you're so used to, you can't function without doing that thing, you know?
Right.
Like, don't fucking do it. You know, like, touch things with your fucking left hand. I would do shit like that. Do it and leave it. Don't go back and do it. I still do it. Now I think about it, I still do it. But like, making myself, like, facing that fear, that's a positive, because like when I do overcome certain things that I thought I would never overcome and I still battle with, it feels good. It's like, oh my God, I thought I would die in this life and never do that. There's still some things, you know, but like, anyways.
Yeah.
Like, that's, I would say, would be the positive. Yeah.
I think the positive for me was just like, I did get a sense of like, it's important to give back to people, and you know, like the church I went to was pretty good at that, and we would do the soup kitchens and all that kind of stuff. So like, you know, there's that side of things that on a surface level, I think they do a lot of good. It's just when you dive deeper, then that's when it's like, oh, there's a lot of shit going on, you know?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, giving back and.
But I hate to admit this. When I was 12, I was at the church fair. I don't know if you're like, in the summer, there'd always be a church fair to, you know, raise money for things. And they would have like light gambling things, like the wheel you'd spin and then you put like a quarter on.
I know what you're talking about. Oh my God.
And there was definitely a time when I was 12 that I waited until the wheel stopped spinning and then put a quarter down on whatever it landed on.
Oh God.
Well, I know it's not like it's some awful thing, but you know, I just remember 12 and I knew the person who was running that stand, and she was like, "You sure you put that down before the wheel spun?" I was like, "Yes." And then I got my $1.25.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I cheated him. So, you know, if I am at some sort of gate and they start the list there, I'm like, well, yeah, I gotta own that one.
Oh my God.
I was 11.
That is not bad at all.
And wanted to buy a snow cone for a girl I had a crush on at the fair.
That's so sweet.
Right? So it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a positive thing, right?
That is a positive thing, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
thanks for coming on.
Oh my God,
I
this is so fun.
this.
I hope you liked this episode.
I did, yeah. I mean, I haven't really had like a religion episode, so this was good.
Okay, good.
To kind of touch on that. And
oh wait, I want to say something else.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is too long. I don't want to feel sorry for myself. I want to take responsibility for myself and to like try to become, it's so hard, like trying to become aware of when my childhood things are like stopping me for the future. So it's like, and it's hard because you don't even realize, like sometimes it's like the way you perceive yourself, like when you see somebody like, or you're auditioning for something and then all of a sudden you're like, I'm not good enough.
Right.
You know, it's like, no, like, okay, I have that thought. Thank you, thought. Like it's there. Like, I hear you, okay, but I'm still going to do this moment the best I can, and you're going to be there, but that's okay, and I'm going to try my best to, like, push through that, you know? So, like, just figuring it out, you know? And, like, you can come over it. You just have to, like, say, okay, that happened, people suck, but I'm going to, like, make the best out of what I have now, and I'm going to go for it like a bat out of hell, you know? So, like, that kind of stuff. But you cannot, how do I say? You can't let that define you.
You absolutely do. And yeah, thank you for sharing all of this.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you've, come out the other side, so to
I
speak,
guess. Come out the other side, struggling actress 2019. Woo!
Yeah. Where can people follow your struggling ways on social media?
At Christina Calph on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I had a YouTube series, Bad Girls Ball. I probably will post like I don't know. We'll see. I might just upload on Facebook.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. You're so nice.
Oh, so are you. Oh, doggy!
Oh my God.
That was the episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much to Christina for coming on. In case you're wondering, we are developing that TV idea about a comedian who becomes a priest, and hopefully something grand will happen with it. You never know what's going to come from these conversations. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that the takeaway is not so much fuck religion, but just be a good person and don't be an asshole. How about that? That's what I try to do every day. I'm not always successful, but I try. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you do, give us that 5-star rating on iTunes. Maybe even write a review. I'll give you a shout out. Check out badtimesgoodstoriespod.com for past episodes, merch, and a link to the Patreon page. And email me at badtimesgoodstoriespodcast@gmail.com. That's all I've got for this week. Get ready for a special 100th episode of the podcast coming next week with a special guest. I'm excited about it, and I'm excited to have spent 100 episodes with you guys. So more coming about that next week. That's all I've got for now. Keep laughing.